In April 2026, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell called an emergency meeting. They summoned the CEOs of the largest systemically important banks in the country, including Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, and also Citigroup. This line chart shows how the market responded that same day. While the broader indices remained stable, shares of top-tier cybersecurity firms like Cloudflare and CrowdStrike experienced a sudden, heavy sell-off. The catalyst for this coordination was a private briefing on an unreleased AI model from Anthropic called Claude Mythos. Analysts identified the model's ability to exploit software as a primary risk to the stability of the global financial system. The presence of every major Wall Street CEO at the Treasury Department suggests the level of risk involved. The briefing detailed vulnerabilities that could affect the very infrastructure these banks rely on to move capital. Modern cybersecurity is largely reactive. It relies on monitoring layers and digital shields to spot intruders after they attempt to breach a network's perimeter. This infrastructure is often decades old. In the retail banking sector, core systems frequently run on code dating back to the 1980s. These legacy mainframes have accumulated layers of patches over the years, making them difficult to update and leaving them open to exploitation. Claude Mythos introduces a new capability into this environment. Anthropic reports the model can autonomously identify and chain together vulnerabilities in every mainstream operating system and web browser without human guidance. When an AI can find and execute exploits entirely on its own, traditional monitoring shields lose their value. The speed at which these vulnerabilities are discovered makes reactive defense measures obsolete. Adaptive thinking lets Mythos dynamically scale computational power to navigate complex code. Scanning OpenBSD, it found a catastrophic vulnerability surviving 27 years of human review. It also located a 16-year-old flaw in FFmpeg, missed by 5 million automated tests, until the AI identified it. Anthropic has chosen to withhold the model from public release. The company stated that the offensive capabilities demonstrated in these tests are too potent for general availability. Offensive AI capabilities have outpaced the speed of human defenders. A process that once took specialized teams months of manual labor can now be completed in a few hours of autonomous reasoning. To counter the fact that these capabilities will eventually be replicated by others, Anthropic launched Project Glasswing, a defensive initiative designed to harden critical systems. The project has created a rare alliance between tech rivals, including Amazon Web Services, Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Cisco. These companies have agreed to work together to address the risks posed by autonomous exploits. Under the Glasswing framework, these partners receive exclusive access to the Mythos model. They are using its offensive reasoning to defensively scan their own source code, identifying and patching flaws before they can be discovered by bad actors. This moves security from the perimeter directly into the code. Instead of building a better shield, the alliance is using the AI to proactively fix the underlying weaknesses in the software itself. Securing global infrastructure now requires treating these frontier models as strategic tools for defense, using their offensive power to find every possible breach point first. This flowchart shows the shift that impacted Cloudflare's valuation. If tech giants can use AI to patch vulnerabilities at the source code level, the market's reliance on external firms to monitor for those same breaches begins to diminish. The physical world faces similar exposure. Utility sectors like the power grid and water resources run on core software with extremely long life cycles. These systems are often slower to update than banking infrastructure, making them prime targets for autonomous discovery tools. Global security risk has become the primary gatekeeper for AI release. Anthropic is withholding Mythos not because of its commercial potential, but because its ability to generate working exploits is currently too difficult to govern. Traditional cybersecurity business models are being forced to evolve. Reactive monitoring is no longer a sufficient defense against a system that can find zero-day vulnerabilities at scale. The AI capabilities that threaten the integrity of digital infrastructure have also become the only tools capable of defending it. The situation is urgent. Much of our global infrastructure remains vulnerable while these AI-driven patches are being actively developed and deployed. We have entered an era where human defenders are no longer fast enough to manage the volume of vulnerabilities being discovered. The speed of cyber conflict is now determined by the scale of the hardware behind the models. The security of the digital economy now depends on a single race: whether AI-driven defense can find and patch code faster than an AI-driven attacker can find a way to exploit it.